The taxi screeched to a halt, tires spitting gravel. "That's it, lady," the driver grunted, pointing a nicotine-stained finger at the sprawling JFK terminal. New York. Big time. I yanked my backpack from the trunk, the worn canvas a comforting weight against the sudden chill of the morning air. Don't wait, I go to New York. The phrase echoed in my head, a mantra I'd clung to for months, ever since I'd seen the postcard, a sun-drenched Central Park, a blur of yellow cabs, a promise of something. Escape? Adventure? I wasn't sure, but the grey skies of London had become suffocating, a constant reminder of the life I was leaving behind. I'd booked the cheapest flight I could find, cashed in my meager savings, and told no one. Not my flatmate, not my boss, not even my mum. Just a hastily scribbled note, "Don't wait, I go to New York." It felt reckless, exhilarating. Like jumping off a cliff and hoping you'd sprout wings on the way down, the airport buzzed with a frenetic energy that was both overwhelming and infectious. I navigated the crowds, a lone figure in a sea of hurried travelers, clutching my passport like a lifeline. New York. I was finally here. The first few days were a whirlwind. The towering skyscrapers, the cacophony of sounds, the sheer scale of everything was breathtaking. I wandered through Times Square, mesmerized by the flashing lights. Ate hot dogs from street vendors, and got lost in the labyrinthine subway. I felt like a character in a movie, a tourist stumbling into a world both familiar and utterly foreign. I found a cheap hostel in the East Village, a tiny room with a shared bathroom and a view of a brick wall. It wasn't much, but it was mine. For the first time in a long time, I felt a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, I could build a new life here. I started looking for work, anything to pay the rent and keep me afloat. I handed out resumes at coffee shops, bookstores, even a dog-walking agency. Rejection after rejection chipped away at my optimism, but I refused to give up. Don't wait. I had to keep moving forward. One afternoon, while wandering through Greenwich Village, I stumbled upon a small art gallery. Intrigued by the vibrant paintings displayed in the window, I decided to go in. The gallery was quiet, save for the soft jazz playing in the background. A woman with silver hair and piercing blue eyes sat behind the counter, reading a book. "Welcome," she said, smiling warmly. "Can I help you?" I told her I was just browsing. But she seemed genuinely interested in talking to me. We chatted for hours about art, life, and everything in between. Her name was Eleanor, and she was the gallery owner. Over the next few weeks, I became a regular at the gallery. Eleanor was kind and generous, offering me advice and encouragement. She even introduced me to some of her artist friends, who were equally welcoming. I felt like I was finally starting to find my place in this crazy city. One evening, Eleanor invited me to a private viewing at the gallery. I dressed in the nicest clothes I had, a slightly crumpled dress I'd bought at a thrift store, and nervously made my way to the gallery. The place was buzzing with people. Artists, collectors, and other art enthusiasts. I felt a little out of place, but Eleanor quickly put me at ease, introducing me to everyone and making sure I had a glass of wine in my hand. As I mingled with the crowd, I noticed a painting that stopped me in my tracks. It was a portrait, a woman with fiery red hair and a determined expression. The woman's eyes seemed to follow me across the room. I felt a strange sense of familiarity, as if I knew her. "That's Clara," Eleanor said, noticing my gaze. "She was a brilliant artist, a real force of nature. She's stunning," I stammered. "She died a few years ago," Eleanor continued, her voice softening. "Cancer. A terrible loss." I stared at the painting, mesmerized. Something about the woman's face, the way she held her head, it was familiar. "Too familiar, Eleanor," I said, my voice trembling. "Did you say her name was Clara?" "Yes," she replied. "Clara. Clara Ashton." My breath caught in my throat. Ashton. My mother's maiden name. A name I hadn't heard since I was a child. "Eleanor," I whispered, my heart pounding in my chest. "Do you, by any chance, have any other paintings by Clara?" Eleanor looked at me strangely, but nodded. She led me to a back room, where several more of Clara's paintings were stored. One by one, she showed them to me, each one more breathtaking than the last, and then, she showed me one that made my blood run cold. It was a portrait of a young woman, with long brown hair and a shy smile. The woman's eyes were the same shade of green as mine. Beneath the painting, a small inscription read, "To my daughter, Lily." "Don't wait, I go to New York." I stumbled back, my legs suddenly weak. My mother. Clara Ashton. The woman in the paintings. My mother. I'd come to New York searching for escape, for adventure, for a new life. But what I found was something I never expected. I found my mother. And the note she left me wasn't just a goodbye. It was a message. A message from a mother I never knew, telling me to live my life, to chase my dreams, to not wait. Because she hadn't. She had gone to New York. And now, so had I. And in that moment, standing in the quiet back room of an art gallery, surrounded by my mother's paintings, I finally understood. Don't wait. It wasn't just a mantra. It was a legacy.